Yeah, pretty good job sharing that. Though the first half, we were like sharing the ball really well. We not turning it over. Had good passing. Had 22 assists in the game. Had less than 20 fouls, which was kind of our goals. Wanted more than 20 assists, less than 20 fouls, which was good. I wanted 10 turnovers or less. We had 12. So overall, I think that we were really pretty decent considering all factors. First game of the year could have been worse. Could have been better. But I think that the focus that we got to get to is there was a lull in that game for about 8 minutes. If you just picked apart 40 minutes, or just some kind of lull there. And we got to get to where we can play that for 40 minutes of just high intensity, high pressure defense and offense, on the other team. We're not necessarily playing Northwestern State, even though all these things matter, and you got to can't just not good enough to win. You got to win by certain amounts for the tournament, the computer rankings, and all that for the NCAA tournament. We're playing for the long game here, and so even late in that game, we're trying to play as if, hey, we got to do things we got to do to keep getting better so we can compete in the SEC. That's what we're really focused on. Some individual performance were pretty good. Thought Josh Holloway was really good in that game. He's been with us the longest, playing really good basketball, highest percentage, highest plus minus. And it was great to see him play that way. Ruben Dominguez played like a pro and let the game come to him. And I thought Fetty was great in that game. Others played well, but those were probably the best. I thought they had the biggest impact in that game.
But yeah, with all these guys playing their first game,
Yep.
how much of it do you feel like they fully grasp your style of basketball? And then I also wanted to ask you said, aside from that lull, what are some of the ways that you feel like after this first game you could really get better?
Yeah. I think that they grasp what we want to do. It's just we got to get the total intensity up where it's sustained for 40 minutes and how that we're going to do it. That's got to be the key. I've never had a team, though, for what it's worth, that I've coached that's had that in the first game of the year. This team's way further ahead with that than I would have expected to have so many new players. They'll hopefully will be the furthest behind going forward, but have so many new players, that's probably they're a little further ahead than I thought with that, because it's not the easiest style to play. You got to play fast and aggressive throughout. So what we got to improve on, obviously, is like I said, 40 minutes of just unrelenting effort. That's why we're playing to the end right there. We're picking up. We're working on that right now. Half court defense beat down the slot too much. Just off the dribble from the gap. You got to control the gap better. And I thought we got too still happy in the half court. Our deal needs to be aggressive defense in the full court, solid defense when we get to the half court. We probably got just too still happy on defense right there. And then obviously you just can't have a lull on offense like we did. That ball was popping the first half, then late we kind of rested on offense. That can't happen.
From the moment you got here, you sold offense and an up-tempo offense from your guys. Do you feel like 98 points was a good way to kind of back that up in the first performance?
Yeah, points can be misleading at times because I thought they tried to slow the tempo down in a lot of, you could say it, the ball went through the net, they tried to let it roll for 10 seconds, tried to slow the tempo down. Obviously percentages matter. I wanted to be above 50% from the field. We were right at 50. I want to hold them below 40% from the field, and they were right at 40. So I think good passing leads to good baskets, right? And I think if you ask me why did we not get to 100, I would say it was because we had 2 turnovers. We needed to only have 10, and we would have had more shots at the basket.
Well, the full court pressure seemed like it gave them a lot of issues, but you also gave up some long passes, some open shots out of it. How would you kind of assess how effective it was, and maybe what led to some of those lapses?
Yeah, it's just those we will give up some of those. It's just the cost of doing business. It is what it is, right? And I think the thing is, they can score those in the full, they can score them in the half. But, the totality of what we want to do is lean on the other team throughout a game so that not only that they suffer their offense suffers, but that their defense starts to suffer. Less deep balls probably than I expected in reality. Just being real with you. It's just what it is. Like, it takes them a second to get it. But overall, positive in the game. I would say overall positive in the game. We'll keep getting better and better with that. We trapped a lot in this game. Sometimes we'll pick up, we won't trap, but because we need to work on it, right? We got to work on our back line stretching up. We probably could have gotten more stops, just picking up, not trapping as much maybe, but we wouldn't be able to work on the things we wanted to, and we probably wouldn't have won by as many points because we want more possessions in a game, right?
It's going to take Pop some time to get to the player he can be, but for his first action live game in 11 months? What did you like from him or notice from him?
I thought he got better as the game went along. I think he was a little nervous when it started just because he hadn't played in so long. You know, it's weird because our team hadn't practiced with Pop out there. So it's not just him playing well and figuring it out. It's like everyone else kind of knowing how to play with him, right? I mean, you know, Marcel Reed's a great quarterback, but hey, if he doesn't practice and he shows up game one, it's not just about can he play, it's just does everybody know, right, how to play with him. And so I think that's just going to keep getting better and better. But overall, for someone out a year, just to be able to play defense and go 3 for 8 from the field, that's a positive.
I guess to that end too, you said last week he was going to be a game time decision. So just what did you see from his progression this last week that made y'all comfortable enough to play him tonight?
Yeah, you know, we thought we could play him between 15 and 20 minutes. We're right in between that. Payne was all good. We obviously weren't going to put him out there if he wasn't good to go. I think that you got a theory on this that you can sit players until they're fully ready to play their allocated minutes. But once the season starts, you're not practicing the same way. We didn't practice today. He has to use this as practice. That's what you got to use it like. And so that was the plan. And hopefully he wakes up tomorrow and he's pain-free like he was when we left that locker room.
Cool little moment at the end there for Chris to get 2 points for being the guy that kind of was a little bit of the glue there to start out with.
Yeah, Chris is a glue guy. I mean, he'll get more minutes than he played tonight, right? I mean, we got a deep team, and you know it's good because when you have a deep team, it's just if someone's not doing their job, it's the next guy's going to play. And we got a deep team not because we got 10 guys on the NBA draft board right now. We got 10 solid, good players. That's what we got, and so therefore. It's going to be different people's nights every other game, and he'll get some minutes, man. Chris is a scrapper and is about winning.
Was the proportion of threes to other shots about what you'd like?
Let's see, what were we, 31-71 shots. I usually like it 50-50, so, maybe if we got some more up, but, you got to play what the game dictates, right? And so, it's close, though, 35. Took 35 there. I feel good about it, How about some of the playmakers they had? Some of their guards pretty dang good. Obviously number 5 went off in that game at 28, shot it well, 4 for 4 from 3, and so they gave us a good test, man. They're well coached. They know what they're doing, and their guards were athletic, right? I mean, you saw some of those plays where their forward comes over and pin shots off the glass. We got something out of that game. They had a plan, so that was good for us as well.
I wanted to ask you, it was, Micah Thomas with 28 points tonight for them. Is that something playing, against a guard that talented this early in the season that you think will prepare you well when you go kind of deeper into non-conference play and into SEC play?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got good players. I mean, times teams are going to get off on us. I mean, that's just the way it is because it's a full court game. Went 4 for 4 from 3. He made some tough ones, but they also missed some open ones, right? But we obviously want to play good players. We want to play well-coached teams, and we want to play teams that can get us better. We got better tonight, that's for sure.
And then 3 games in the first week of this season, do you think that's something that will prepare you well as the year goes on, just kind of the intensity of that schedule to start the year?
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much. You saw in that game, I don't know if you felt it. Like, most people, they don't, I've coached how we play for a long time. So most people would be like, well, I didn't know what you're saying. But there was just a lull, not a significant lull, not like, hey, it probably looked like a regular basketball game. But then you saw times in that game where just unrelenting effort, foot on the gas pedal, foot on their throat, right? And we were like that for most of the game, but dang sure not all the game. So our goal next game is how do we turn that up to maybe we got 25 minutes that night, let's get to 28. Then maybe the next game is at 31. And then you build that up and you're able to do it for 40 minutes and you're strong. And that's when you become a tough team to play against.
What do you think you'll remember most about coaching your first game here?
Good question. I don't know. It's weird that it was my first game and it was my 100th win in college. That was pretty weird. You know what I'm saying? No, it was fun. Just, I guess I'll remember that. I'll remember those guys put all that water on me in the locker room that they just did. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're closer to finding those groups of five on the court that really gel well together?
Probably not. You know, we got Pop's first game back and McKenzie and Baco, you know, a highly touted player in a lot of ways on our team, hadn't practiced with this group yet with everybody. So it's going to take some time. Obviously, we're not going to have games where everybody gets that many minutes. You know, we'll tighten up as we go along. But in the process, you know, this is good that we can look at different groups because we got to be able to play different ways. Sometimes it's going to be our press that wins the game. Sometimes it's going to be a lockdown half court. Sometimes it's going to be running. Sometimes it's going to be half court offense. So we got to find out who can do what and who can play well with each other. And that's why basketball is a conference sport and end of the year sport because this is the time when you find those rotations.
First game in front of the Reed Arena crowd, what was that like?
That was great. I was glad, you know, I felt them, glad they were there. We appreciate everybody coming out and fighting. I know it's, hey, look, I'm from Alabama. It's still November. This isn't even basketball season yet in a lot of people's minds. But, hey, we're fighting to get to the NCAA tournament. And we accomplished that goal tonight in step one, getting the win. But then also there's a certain amount that you got to look at when you're in this deal with the metrics that you got to win by. That's just the way that it is. And so we don't want to be on that bubble and miss out. So we appreciate everybody coming out fighting with us. And look, we're going to have highs, we're going to have lows with this group. There's no question about that. And we just got to stay together and just keep fighting.
You guys shot nearly 50% from the floor, but still got 44 rebounds, including 17 offensive. How impressed were you with their play on the boards?
Well, so like that's how it all ties together a lot of times. And I thought there was times we didn't attack the glass, but like, you know, we pick up on missed shots and made shots in the full court. So on missed shots, we crash 5 players so that we can match up and pressure. So like it goes together. Like we'll give out some runouts on missed shots, but they're shooting layups, but we're also getting a high number of offensive rebounds because we're able to crash 5 because we're going to pick up full court after we miss. So the whole thing kind of ties together. We wanted to have 10 more shots than they did, and you kind of measure that by the turnover margin and then the offensive rebound margin. I think we had 11 was the difference in that. So when you do that, that's usually going to equate to winning basketball.
All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you.
All right,
guys.
thank y'all for covering, guys. Appreciate y'all.